Kiss. Dessutom så är han faktiskt innehavare av rockvärldens längsta tunga. Could you please show us your tongue, Gene?
Only after you show me yours.
Mine's
A close-up?
short. Yeah. Thank you very much. Kiss firar snart 10-årsjubileum och har under de här åren sålt omkring 50 miljoner LP. Varsågod och sitt.
Tack.
Is there anything in the Kiss image which is possible to change?
We can do anything we want to do because we make our own rules. There's nobody that tells us what to do pretty much. So the only criteria for doing anything is to be the most outlandish, to be the most spectacular live show on earth. So that's the only rule. So can we change? Yeah, if we thought it would make a better show, we would change.
But you're not thinking of anything right now?
Well, there's a new stage show. There's an entirely new stage with new outfits, new songs, so that's a change. But are we going to take the makeup off? No.
Never.
There has to be somebody that's doing what we're doing. Somebody brave enough.
When you go on tour, it must cost a fortune. Does the record selling covers all of that?
No, we borrow money all the time. We're never really concerned about that. You know, everybody has this idea that there's this big corporation in back of us. It's really nothing at all from the truth. There are really just 4 guys who started in New York City. We picked up guitars and started to play, and we were lucky enough to meet people that believed in the same thing. A good record company, Polygram Records, that makes sure our records sound good, and we've got a great crew, and it costs a lot of money to tour. Of course, it's cheaper to go out there with a small amplifier and some drums and just to play. But that's not what Kiss is. Kiss has always been about... The only reason we've ever existed is really to be the greatest show on earth. And that's what we intend to continue doing.
But in your business you also have other things like T-shirts and scarves and...
Yeah, which now every band in the world does, from the Who to the Stones, so they learn their lessons well.
Most of your audience, at least here in Sweden, are between 10 and 15 years old. Why do you think Kiss mostly have younger fans?
Well, I don't know if we do. I think... does this make a lot of noise? I think
okay.
People in the record business really know who our fans are more than we do. The only thing that we know is that when we get up and play, there are people in front of us, and that's all we care about. There are no rules. You don't have to be a certain age or a certain sex or dress a certain way to be in the audience. You just have to be there. And the only reason to be in a Kiss show is really you want to see something special, not just another rock and roll band. So who our fans are, I don't really know. I know that there are a lot of them, but how old they are and how many there are, I don't know.
But you don't keep in contact with them and, you know...
Not every one of them, because then we wouldn't have time to make records or to tour, of course.
No, but there are a lot of youngsters dressing like you are and so on.
We keep in touch. We correspond with certain fans that we trust, whose opinions we trust, that they don't try to flatter us by telling us that everything is great. And some fans tell us that some of the things we do is not that good. And that's very important. Somebody who has an honest relationship with you. And we do have very close contact with our fans. In fact, I would venture to say that I could go to a club and talk with somebody, and only at the end of the conversation will they realize that I'm in Kiss. So I can ask them, hey, what do you think of the new record? And they wouldn't think, I mean, they wouldn't know that I was in the band.
Is that one of the good things with being disguised?
I think so, but also it's important to be able to be a regular person when I'm not like this. Or am I the regular person now, or am I a different person there? I don't know.
Will you be touring in Sweden in the near future?
We want to. You know, we have every plan of doing so. There are conversations now being held about that, but when that's going to happen, I don't know. We've got an American tour lined up in the next month and a half, lasting 100 shows, 100 cities, for 6 months. Then we have to go to Japan, Australia, and everybody here at our record company in Europe is trying to convince us to come here first before we go to Australia and Japan, and we'll see. We would like to anyway.
Your video is called I Love It Loud. Is your music getting even heavier now? It seems so on the list. Your last album, I think.
Yes. It's going to continue getting heavier, louder, meaner. This is our 17th record, and we've done everything since we've begun, from ballads with violins to the loudest and the meanest rock and roll. And now that we've gotten a concept record out of our creative minds, this was our last record, The Elder, now it's time to get serious about what we've always done, which is play the meanest and the loudest, and hopefully put on the best show in the world.